Hey everybody, welcome back. This may well be the last video that we make for this class. This one is going to focus on how to make the PowerPoint for your final persuasive speech. Couple things that you'll need. One is, and let's just go over and look at this together. If you'll go to week 6 on our Blackboard site, there's now what's called the PowerPoint template posted. So go ahead and get that and open up your persuasive outline once you've fixed it. So at this point, I've sent back all the feedback on those outlines. So make sure that you go in, edit, change things that need to be changed, get that ready first. Then you can start working on the outline. Again, this week, when the first persuasive speech is due, the draft of the PowerPoint is due. So you'll just post a copy of it. I'll look over it, give you my feedback. And then next week, the final, you'll give this speech again, but of course with revisions in feedback. And you will now include a PowerPoint. So that's what's coming up here for the last few days. But back to the idea of making this PowerPoint. Don't overthink it is the key thing. And I know that most of you, if not all of you, have been alive since, PowerPoint has always been around since you've been alive, but that's not always the case. But even when we've used something for so long, sometimes we still use it in ways that are less effective than others. So let's talk about how to do it and do it fairly quickly and easily. So let's see, go ahead and open the template. Now, as you may notice, this isn't much of a template. And you see the only thing on here are down in the notes section. So this one is blank. And you've got the attention getter image, title slide, a preview slide. There's main point 1, or the problem and need. Main point 2, satisfaction solution, the plan. Main point 3 is visualization. Then we'll review the main points. Closure, going back to the attention getter, and then a call to action slide. So this is how I recommend you do it. This isn't the hard, fast, you've got to do it this way. What I'll be grading on is that your PowerPoint is clear, it's clean, it's consistent, and it's not a crutch for you, it's a tool for your audience. So let's go back up to the top. Now I have blank here, and when I say blank, I mean really blank. I like to make my first slide in all my PowerPoints black. You can go to Format Background, and then just choose the background color you want. Now the reason I like this is because if I go to slideshow and play from start, this is what's seen on the screen. And this gives me the chance to start talking to the audience, getting my attention getter going before I ever reveal anything about what my speech may or may not be about. Note that I am not going to introduce myself first. Just like in the outline, you do your attention getter, then the introduction of self and topic. Same thing's important with your PowerPoint. So let me jump out of this view and go to the next slide. So I need an attention getter slide, something that accents or I guess goes with your attention getter in terms of words. So now I'm talking about this big fine, $21,500 airline. Okay, so I can do a few different things. Tell you what I'll do. I'll make more than one attention getter slide. You don't have to, but I'm just going to show you how I would do it. So I said $21,500. So the first thing I'm going to do is put that number in, and then I'm going to make it really big. Slide this guy over. Make this a little bigger so we can see what we're working with here. A little too much. Take it down a notch. That'll work. We'll center that up, and we'll center this up. All right. Let's do a green background on that just for money. What do you think? That's a little better. Okay. So then I ask, what would you do with that money? So what I'm going to do now is duplicate this slide. And then I have things listed like, would you pay off loans, your debt, your car? Get back over to it. Loans, debt, car, maybe a big party. So I'm going to do this now. I'm going to jump back to a browser, maybe. Here, loans, debt, students. So let's see what images we get. This will work. What I'm going to do now is just find an image that roughly represents the different topics that I'm discussing here. Oops, I don't want to do that. Make these a little messy. I think the next one was a student buys car. That'll work. Roughly the same size, but they don't have to be exact. And the last thing I said was a party. So let's do college party. What do we find? Looks like people having good times. Okay. Let's go with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is duplicate this slide a couple of times. And for the first version, I'm going to take off 2 of these. For the next one, I'll just take off 1. And for the last one, I'll leave it there. So then what this will look like when I am presenting it is, imagine this much money. What would you do? Would you pay off your debt? Would you buy yourself a new car? Would you just have a really bomb party? Well, and then we can go from there. Now, this is the title slide. So I'm going to add in a title. If you've not titled your speech, that's fine. You can just sort of put the topic on there, zero tolerance policy. But then I've also got, this is about getting back to normal. Getting back to normal. Zero tolerance policies. Bam. So now that's really all I need there. You can bold this if you want, make it nice. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I think that is bolded already. Yep. And we're good. Next up, the preview slide. Instead of using the word preview here, use like almost anything else. So it could be simple. Coming up, and then you can list your 3 main points. And ours were erratic behavior following lockdowns, zero tolerance policies, and a normal existence. So, erratic behavior after lockdowns. Then we had zero tolerance policies. And then the last was, we're going to call it a new normal. Now, again, you can't just leave it like this, right? You don't want to do that. We all know that. So let's just add in, first of all, some spacing here. That will help. Let's do 2 for each one. Now, there's different ways to change the spacing, but that's just the easy go-to for me. Now we just need an image that goes along with this. Again, it could go with your theme if you wanted it to, or it could even just be like a something like this, a preview. So just grab this thing, copy the image, slide it over, make it slightly larger, and done. Okay, so we have that slide. Now we're into our main points. Now we don't want to, again, put problem or need up here, but what we can put is the name of the actual point. So erratic behavior after, well, erratic, we'll just keep it with erratic behavior. Now, if we've got some words we need to include, we can do that. I think ours are, we've got mental and physical isolation, examples, and then why it's a problem. Okay. Isolation, examples, why this is problematic. Let's space these out a little more. And again, we can move them around as we need. So let's see. Now we're going to find an example. FAA. Okay, let's try that one. Let's put in FAA passenger kicked off. And we'll probably get something. There is the story that we're talking about at one point. I don't know if there's any images here. I doubt it. Yep, that's all right. Go here and check it. There we go. Let's see. What reminds us of a problem on the plane? I think this first one's probably, that just looks like a Karen about to happen. So we'll copy that image, slide it back over here, and drop it in. Oh, there she is. Now, don't just, leave your images. I know this is obviously big, but remember that you can crop in PowerPoint very easily, so do that. And then we can still resize, make everything fit right. And that feels good. Okay, next up, we've got our solution, which is our zero tolerance policies. Policy. What do we have for that one? We have what they are, this writing the policy, and then petition, pass the law in the state of Michigan. Okay. What are zero tolerance policies? We can call it policy details if we want to. And then here we can go with petition and Michigan. Okay, P-E-T-I-T-O-N, petition and Michigan. Let's say law. Let's say federal petition and Michigan law. That'll take it to both levels. Okay. Move this down just a little. And what happens if we search for zero tolerance policy? That may be fine, actually. Copy image, bring it over. I like it. I liked it until I noticed it has watermarks. Don't use anything with watermarks. So you can see the Shutterstock background there. Let's come back out and find a different one. Should be pretty easy. It's got it too. It does. That'll work. There we go. Now look out for things like the edges hanging over. See how law is covered up, Michigan law, it's going away. Again, you can't really crop that a ton because of the way that it's sitting there. So just be careful and do your best to move it around without covering up much. And you can also move other things around too if you need to. Okay. That seems to let everything show. Last up, we have our visualization. So we have a new normal. If we get down into the slide, let's go back over to the outline. Safe flights, seeing friends, sustainable future, united people. Okay. So yeah, safe flights. Let's, instead of seeing friends, let's say free travel. Free to travel. Civil, let's call it civil and united future. Okay. Boy, lots of possibilities on pictures for that. So let's just go with what else comes up if it's a new normal? What does that look like? You could probably go with one of these if you want. That kind of looks fun. I don't know what all this little text says, but it's small enough it won't matter. Paste it in. Takes just a second apparently. Hopefully this didn't jam up the entire PowerPoint. But it may have. Okay, there we go. Just a really big picture apparently. All right, now we're in. Now, we're back to the review of main points. So what you could do, and I think is a great idea, you could go back and grab this, come back down, and take that out. Now you've got it. So I would just put here, maybe something like topics covered. So now if we go back, let's find something. Excuse me. Excuse me. We'll find something here that is about a review. That will work. Size that up. There we go. Then we come out of here and we're back to our attention getter. So what I will do is, I'll do more than one. Just going to copy all of those. Come back here. Put them all back in. Don't know why the green background went away, but that's easy enough to fix. There we go. And then our closure. Oh, that's what I just done there. So now we've got the call to action. You could keep it like this. You can make it blank. It's really up to you. So I think what I would do, if we're going to start this on campus, then we need a, let's say, start at GVSU. Zero tolerance policy on COVID related issues. I don't even know what that means, but it would work for what we want. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to tell you to email the president. GVSU president email. I know what it is because it's obvious. They do a pretty clear job with it. Let's see. Office of the President. What about the actual president? They're not on here? Okay, that's okay. Simple enough because the email address is president@gvsu.edu. So let's make this nice and big. Bold it. We'll move it over. We've got it centered. And that's it. So email the president and ask her to start this zero tolerance policy. I'll move myself over. What I'll do now is save this. Move myself again. So this is the zero maybe tolerance policy PowerPoint demo. And that's going to go into not that. There we go. Okay. That's it. So now I could start out as talking about, think about, all the different things that we struggle with in college. It's relationships, it's personal life, it's mental health, and it is money. I mean, imagine, what would you do if something was $21,500? Well, what about this flight? And then I get into that. Would you pay this? Would you do that? Would you do the other thing? Let's talk about zero tolerance policies. Today we're going to discuss 1, 2, 3. Go through them. So today we talked about, so back to that number, $21,500. I asked if you would pay off debt, buy a new car, maybe just have a great party. But whatever you would do with it, it's better than paying it to the FAA because you were an unruly passenger. But it happens everywhere. So we need zero tolerance policies. And I want you to start with me at GVSU to make this a thing, a reality. So email the president. You see where I'm going with this. So what will happen at this point with this PowerPoint, I will save it again, and then I will post it to Blackboard so you'll have it. So again, start with the demo if you want, or the template and your revised persuasive outline for Monroe's, and then make your PowerPoint. Again, the Speech Lab can help with this if you need them to, but just keep it simple is the big thing. All right, listen, thanks for watching maybe the last video, maybe not, we'll see, but I look forward to hearing your speeches and seeing your PowerPoints. Have a good day.